Okay, so let's just get right into it. In 2026, the fundamental rules of war, well, they were completely rewritten. A conflict exploded onto the world stage that wasn't just being fought with soldiers and tanks, but with algorithms and, believe it or not, data centers. This was the moment that artificial intelligence went from some far-off military theory to the absolute heart of the battlefield. And it all kicked off with one single startling announcement.
It started with this, a really stunning declaration. And look closely at who it's targeting. This isn't a threat against an army or a government capital, but against some of the most famous companies on the planet. Right away, you knew this was not going to be a conventional war. This one statement literally redrew the map of the modern battlefield.
So, what does that new map even look like? Well, forget everything you know about trenches and forts. The new strategic high ground? It's digital. The front line now runs right through the server farms that store your photos, the cloud regions that run your favorite apps, and yep, the corporate campuses where the next generation of AI is being dreamed up.
This radical shift is playing out right now in the 2026 U.S.-Iran conflict. The U.S. operation has a code name, Epic Fury, and everyone is calling it the world's first true AI war. What that actually means, in practice, is a conflict that's being fought at a scale and a speed that was unimaginable even a few years ago.
And the sheer scale of this new type of warfare is just staggering. Since this whole thing kicked off on February 28th, U.S. forces have hit over 12,000 targets inside Iran. Think about that number. A number like that is only possible when you hand over a huge chunk of the targeting process to machines.
And you know, this wasn't some kind of accident. This was a deliberate strategy. The Pentagon had already declared its intention to become an AI-first military. This conflict is basically where that doctrine went from being a bunch of PowerPoint slides to live-fire reality. It's completely transforming how the world's most powerful military actually operates.
So how does this actually work? Right? How does AI make this kind of machine-speed warfare possible? Well, the answer is in this military concept that AI is now put on steroids. It's called the kill chain. And understanding this process is absolutely key to understanding this new era of war.
The kill chain. It's really just the step-by-step process for any attack. And it's been around for decades. But what AI has done is compress a process that used to take hours, sometimes even days, into a matter of minutes or even seconds. That's a foundational shift in how military operations work.
So here's how it breaks down. You've got these AI systems, like the Pentagon's Project Maven, and they just sift through unimaginable amounts of data. We're talking satellite imagery, drone footage, electronic signals, everything, to find, fix, and track potential targets. By automating all these early steps, the system can then recommend targets to human operators at a blistering, almost instant pace.
Now here's the crucial point. The Pentagon insists, and this is important, that a human is always in the loop, making that final call to fire. But when target recommendations are coming at you this fast, it raises some really profound new ethical questions about accountability, right? Especially when mistakes are made and civilians get hurt. Who is ultimately responsible when the process moves faster than any single human can possibly comprehend?
This incredible new speed of war, all powered by AI, it prompted a response from Iran that was, well, it was completely unprecedented. A response that didn't aim for U.S. military bases, but instead for the very companies that build the digital infrastructure behind all these attacks. I mean, just look at this list of targets. It's astonishing. These aren't just companies, they are absolute pillars of the global economy. They're part of our daily lives. By declaring Apple, Google, and Amazon legitimate military targets, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps has essentially erased the line between the civilian tech world and the military battlefield.
So why them? Why these companies? Well, in Iran's view, the AI models coming from companies like Palantir and the massive cloud infrastructure from Amazon and Microsoft, they're no longer just neutral services. They are the essential components. They're the eyes and the brains of the U.S. digital targeting web. In effect, they're part of the weapon itself.
And make no mistake, this is not just rhetoric. This isn't an empty threat. Amazon's AWS data centers in Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates have already been targeted by drone activity. This marks the first time in history that cloud computing infrastructure has become a deliberate target in a military conflict. The game is changed.
This shocking new reality, the idea that your cloud provider is now on the front line, has sent a massive ripple effect across the entire globe. Nations are now racing to protect themselves not just with missiles and tanks, but with their own sovereign technology.
The new strategic imperative is crystal clear. You simply cannot be secure if your national defense runs on another country's servers. This has kicked off a global scramble to build what you could call AI-native defenses, military systems built from the ground up with a nation's own homegrown technology.
And a perfect example of this is happening in India. It's called Mission Sudarshan-Chakra. It's this hugely ambitious AI-powered air defense shield designed to protect the entire country from modern threats like drone swarms and hypersonic missiles. It's a system that's being built for this new age of warfare.
The core idea here, the end goal, is to achieve what's being called AI sovereignty. By developing their own systems, everything from hand-launched drones for individual soldiers to fully autonomous robotic units, countries are trying to break their dependence on foreign tech suppliers. They want to make sure their defense capabilities can't just be switched off by an outside power.
So, what does this all add up to? When you put all the pieces together, you realize it's way more than just a new type of weapon. It's the dawn of a completely new framework for global power, one that's built on a totally different kind of natural resource.
Put simply, it's this. Silicon has met steel. The processing power of a computer chip has become just as important as the armor on a tank. The two are now fused together, and there is absolutely no going back.
And of course, the money is following the strategy. In 2026 alone, global investment in the kind of AI infrastructure that powers this new kind of warfare is forecast to top $600 billion. And this isn't just business investment. This is the construction of a new strategic foundation for national power.
We are entering an era that you might call Pax Silica, which is Latin for peace through silicon. It's a new world order where global dominance isn't just about who has the most aircraft carriers anymore, but about who has the most computational power. In this era, compute is the new crude oil.
Which leaves us with one final, unavoidable question that connects this massive global shift directly to you, to me, to all of us. If the servers holding your personal emails and your family photos are now considered legitimate military targets, what does security truly mean anymore?